Now, let's see. Where were we? Ah, yes, that's right. After setting sail for the Anchor's Chain, the party enjoyed a mix of, party and near-death experiences while aboard the luxury vessel the Vigilant. Their trip began fun enough with a raucous evening hosted by Clay and joined by most of the ship's passengers, with the exception of one individual, a Minotaur man named Savito Wale, who was in possession of a strange cube that induced an intense feeling of vertigo in anyone who looked at it. On the fourth night of travel, things grew stranger still, as a man named Antoine Chuma was fished out of the sea telling stories of masked men and horrifying toad creatures. As the trip neared its end, our heroes were awoken to find their ship had run aground, entangled in a web of tanglekelp, and under attack by a group of aquatic spider-kin. They fought them off most valiantly, but things quickly turned for the worse when a portal opened upon the deck of the ship and 3 figures, 2 wearing masks and the third a horrifying toad creature, stepped through. Scattered and unprepared, our heroes were quickly brought down by their foes, and as Glimki fought to save Clay from drowning, he witnessed one of these masked men depart the ship in possession of Savito Wale's cube. The ship was badly damaged by the attack, and several crew members were killed along with Savito Wale. Despite the damage, the ship eventually managed to reach Kobaris, where our heroes were greeted by members of the Zhao Learning Center. Members such as Deborah, a wayfish woman who spoke at length about Jar-Areth's teat, as well as Slade Chronic, the former partner of Marlin Whisperhand. Not dead, but merely hiding from Marlin. Most importantly, they met Jar-Areth, the charismatic leader of the Learning Center who preached the merits of a round world and facilitated a disc golf tournament which Glimki won. Clay proceeded to join Jar-Areth in his office and painted his portrait, and made some, creative choices that he surprisingly loved, and he promised to help repair the Vigilant with his acquired resources. As night fell on Kobaris, our heroes each went to their separate sleeping domes, and as Glimki slept, he heard a voice crying out to him. He awoke and saw a humanoid shape, made of swirling flower petals, asking for his help. After looking for a sign from his god Mulari, he ventured out into the dark, and unbeknownst to his companions, someone, or something, found him.
You already said all that.
Club, I feel like we're going round in circles.
I thought we were going around in spheres.
Oh, not you two. On with the story. Come gather round, travelers, and sit on the stoop. We'll tell you a story about Bod Soup. 3 lovable scamps in our traveling troupe. We'll tell you a story about Bod Soup.
I sang that song. I don't remember what it is. Is it a graduation thing? A wedding song?
I think so.
I don't remember. Well, guess what? It doesn't matter because it's Bard Soup, and I'm joined by 3 people who know what that was. Prima, tell me, what was that song?
Hi, I'm Prima. I play Clay Campbell, and that song was amazing. Don't know what it was either, but it was great.
Very good. Normally, I would say Jordan is next, but guess what? That guy, turns out he was a CIA asset the whole time, and he's gone back to America, and we aren't going to see him anymore. So he's gone, and we go straight to Shannon.
Good riddance. That was the song that we here in Canada play when you expunge a foreign agent from your ranks. When I play Faunalyn Vaydark.
Amazing. And lastly, what's this? Lastly, a 4th name on the roster? What? Speaking of foreign agents, I don't know if that's okay. Elliot!
Hello, and I don't have anything to say about the song other than I think it was used in Monty Python just to add an air of Britishness over to you, over to the podcast.
There we go.
How apropos.
Elliot, would you like to just say actually who the hell you are and where you're from and all that good stuff?
I'm Elliot. I'm from England. But no, I am Elliot, and you can find me on Inkblade Publishing. That's inkbladepublishing.com or just through the socials. I am making a TTRPG. It's called Gothic Plague Worlds. It's 5e compatible, and it is a sort of Gothic gaslamp fantasy. So think Victorian, Georgian. You got that sort of Bloodborne, Van Helsing, Castlevania vibe. Lots of plagues. That's kind of the main thing. We got plagues, lots of diseases, everybody. Yeah, it's lots of fun. I'm going to have Shannon and Zach on for an episode, so you'll get to see if you like these guys. I'm going to put them in a really creepy world, and you get to see me torture them. So you see Zach torturing these guys a lot. Let's flip it around and put him in the hot seat.
Yes.
So yeah,
amazing. And I'm Zach, the guy who there's a reason I don't do the intros anymore. Welcome back to Bard Soup. Let's dive in. The sun rises on the Jar Arith Learning Center on the island of Kobaris.
Doesn't the sun, I'm so sorry, doesn't the sun not rise in Zav?
After completing its nightly rotation of the sun revolving around the world, the sun rises. Science is weird on Kobaris. Anything's possible. Everything you thought you knew to be true disappears from mind.
The science, it's getting to us. We need to get out of here.
I'm gonna be convinced that the world is round at this rate.
It's all fake. Don't believe it.
And the sun rises on another beautiful day on Zav. Clay, Faunalyn, you awaken in your individual sleeping domes. Don your provided white robes with the little brass accents around the collar and the sleeves. They're not quite your usual style, either of you, but they're kind of fun. I'm putting that on to you. They're kind of fun. And the two of you gather in the dining dome, where you are served hard-boiled eggs that have had the tips shaved off so that they are more spherical. And Amala joins you after some time. She looks terrible. Her eyes are bloodshot. Her hands are shaking. She says, hello, dear. Any luck on getting us off this god's-forsaken island? I'm afraid I'm feeling not quite myself.
Clay, show her the picture. It's our ticket off.
Okay, so I have completed my first draft of a portrait for Zhao Arith, and he's agreed to help Captain Zarallo start getting the ship back together. And I pull out the painting. What do you think?
Oh, I didn't know you dabbled in pornography. How interesting.
It's not porn. There's a vision.
Dabbled in pornography, please. Clay perfected pornography.
Oh, my apologies.
I digress.
I do as well. I'm going to digress back to my dome and try and get some sleep. I feel terrible. You don't happen to have any wine on you?
I wish I did, but there might be some hand sanitizer in the washrooms.
Oh, that's a good idea. I'll go try that.
Best of luck, darling.
She wanders off. You eat your breakfast, your eggs. There's nothing but eggs. I'd like to make that very clear. It is all eggs. There's many round things that could be served at a breakfast table. Oranges, maybe an apple if you kind of squint a little and blur your eyes. They just serve eggs.
Are they all chicken eggs?
I'll never tell.
Oh.
That's a good question.
Don't ask questions you don't want the answer to.
I want to know.
Oh, my bad. No, they're not. They're turkey.
Cool.
Glimki does not join you. You eat the entirety of your meal, and at no point does he join you, but you think he's probably just going to meet you at the morning session.
Should we bring Glimki some breakfast? He likes food, I think.
Yeah.
I've certainly seen him eat.
How many eggs do you think he'll want?
Dozen? 2 dozen to be safe?
How about a 2 dozen, just in case?
2 dozen, just to be safe. Maybe 3.
3?
2. We'll go 2. It's fine.
2.5?
2.5. Oh, brilliant. 2.5. So you'll hold 2 dozen and I'll hold 6.
Okay, sounds good.
You scoop up 30 eggs and leave the dining dome, and we won't dabble on that. You wander through the you leave the dining dome and go over to the residential quarter where all these smaller domes are assembled. Very dome-based architecture here at the Jar Arth Learning Center.
It's so on theme.
Yeah, you wander around and eventually you find the one that you think Glimki is staying in.
I knock on it.
Glimki!
Glimki, are you awake? We brought you some eggs.
There's no response.
Is he still asleep?
Make sure you're decent. We're coming in. I open the door.
It is unlocked and it swings open, and you see that Glimki is not there. You step into the main area of this dome, and you look in. He is not there. There's nowhere really to hide in these domes. They're pretty small. They're basically just tents with solid walls. But you look around, and the bed appears to have been slept in, and weirdly enough, there is a scattering of flower petals on the floor in front of the bed. But otherwise, no one is here.
Well, that's very romantic in here. Where is he, though? He talked a lot about the hot springs yesterday. He was constantly going on about checking the hot springs. We should go check out the hot springs.
Oh.
That's the only place I can think that he would be.
You think he might be there? Wait, so is his stuff in the room? Like his pack and armor and stuff?
You feel free to look around. You look around. There's trunks provided in each of the rooms with which you can store your personal belongings. It appears that most of his things are gone. Not everything. There's a few pieces of clothing, perhaps, but his armor is gone and his sword is gone.
Okay, maybe he got up early.
Maybe there's like flower beds here he was tending to. He does love gardens.
That's true. What kind of flower petals is this? Because I thought we were in a desert.
That's a good point.
Give me an nature check.
Okay. I rolled a 6 for a total of 5.
They're pretty ones.
Okay. Yeah, maybe he was attending to some flowers. Should we go look?
Yeah, okay, that's likely. I don't think it's very likely that he's in any of the classes, but maybe he's trying to side hustle. Maybe he's found like a business opportunity. Okay, so 3 leads on where Glimki might be. Somewhere side hustling, at the flower gardens, or at those hot springs.
Oh, talking to the captain?
Oh, he could be talking to the captain. He could be anywhere.
Yeah, why wouldn't he come find us? Oh well, let's go look for him then.
I know. We're so codependent. I don't like not knowing where he is.
I know.
Well, should we split up or should we stay together? I promise not to be anywhere other than the hot springs.
Well, I kind of want to see the hot springs also. Let's just go there first.
Okay. So we'll go together and then we'll hit up the hot springs last because if he's there, we can just stay there.
Okay,
Perfect.
good plan.
So, where are you going?
So
Not the
look
hot
for Glimki.
Yeah, the other
Hot
2
springs
places
last.
first.
We're gonna commence a little search.
Yeah, we're looking for flower gardens.
Are you staying within the confines of the learning center, this basin in the desert?
Think so.
Okay.
Just start, yeah.
Yeah, you walk around and it's big, but it's not that big. It doesn't take you long to kind of get the main sense of how things are laid out and the public-facing buildings. There is, of course, the disc golf course. You walk along that. There's some people getting an early round in. They're wearing all white garments, but like golf clothes. You can picture it. No flowers planted there. There's a amphitheater where sometimes public presentations are done that don't necessarily pertain to the teachings of the Round Zavers, and there's a poetry reading going on, and Ruckus Perez and his brother Tucker are sitting in the front row with little glasses on, and they're wearing turtlenecks that are also white, and they're taking notes and nodding appreciatively. You poke your heads back into the dining dome, and there's a few administrative buildings, but you don't find any flower beds. You see like maybe the occasional cactus with a flower growing off of it, but it's not of the kind that you found in Glimki's dome. And you're kind of left with the choice of making the journey back to the docks if you think he could be there, or venturing up to the hot springs.
Springs. Right?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, is the captain like staying at the learning center or on her boat?
She traveled with you yesterday to the learning center, and you're not sure if she is planning on staying here full-time or what. She would have spent the night here at least, but you don't know if that's her plan going forward.
Okay. Well, we could check out the hot springs first. And if he's not there, maybe we can go find the captain if he's side hustling.
Okay, that seems likely. I think that's a good plan.
Okay.
And I really want to see the hot springs, so
Yeah, we have time for a bath, right?
of course. It's not like he's in mortal danger or anything, right?
Right?
He's probably just, I don't know, hiding or something. Actually, I'm a bit worried.
Yeah, I know. I'm worried he's in the classes and becoming convinced.
Yeah, I'm worried he's like wandered into the desert or something because he, I don't know, saw a business opportunity. To the hot springs then.
Yes.
You walk up this winding path that leads up the side of the basin. You can see the steam rising up in the morning air of these hot springs, and you climb to the top of the basin, and you see it's almost like a little oasis of sorts. Normally an oasis is far from society, I feel like, in all the movies and TV that I watched as a kid, but not here, which makes sense on a certain level if you think about, I don't know, why people would place things where they place things. Anyway, big pool of water, and it's steaming, it's bubbling. There's little rocks spread out around, and some people are sitting on them, and they've got towels, these nice white fluffy towels laid out. There's various folk enjoying the morning at the hot springs. Some of the faces appear familiar, others not so much. You see Slade Chronic is sitting on a rock, dipping his feet into the pool and just kicking his feet slowly back and forth, smoking a cigar. You see that young woman who appeared to be a teenager, but you have since been told is a auditor from the high church, is kind of wandering around with a little notebook and pen, taking some notes. And you see a young human man sitting at the edge of the hot spring, playing with something looks to be mud or dirt. He's got some sort of small clump of earth in his hands. And Elliot, would you please describe your character?
Sure thing. They see sort of dressed in this round Zaba adorned robes and the sort of garments. You see that he's sitting there and very seriously concentrating on this mud, and it doesn't look like anything other than sort of just little clumps of wet mud, maybe clay. He has these sort of dark brown ringlet hair that sort of is a little bit short on the front. It's almost mullet-like, so it's got sort of sits on his shoulders and a little bit down the back. It's a little bit hard to tell how tall he is, but he seems on the shorter side as he's currently sat down. But he seems very invested in what he's doing, and he does not really sort of taking in anything around him.
Man with dirt seems like a good Glimki lead, right?
Yeah, maybe he's seen Glimki around. Should we go ask?
You there with the dirt?
Oh no! Now come on! Now look, you've been working on this spell for so long, and you've got these magical hands. And I really wish I could just... Sorry, were you talking to me there?
I was, yes. I see now that you were very busy with something important, maybe?
Sorry to interrupt.
It's just we're on a mission.
On a mission? Oh, okay. Well, we're all on missions here. What could I ask is your mission here?
Well, right now we're looking for our friend. He's like this tall. He's got branches and leaves in his hair. Yeah, we just haven't seen him yet this morning.
Ah, branches and leaves. Well, I've seen a few people like that, but I can't say I've seen anyone that short. You say he's a bit short, fella?
Hey, he's a gnome.
Oh, okay. No.
Okay, thank you.
It's okay, it's right, it's my pleasure. And he goes back to himself. Okay, so if I had maybe a touch more clay in this hand instead of that hand. Oh no, but then the magic, it wouldn't feel right. And he sort of goes back to himself.
Oh.
It's hilarious that he's looking for clay and your name is Clay.
Oh yeah, did you say something to me? What are you working on?
No, sorry there. Was your name Clay?
Yeah, that's right. What's your name?
Oh, my name's Peter. Peter Goodacre. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
And I didn't catch your name. Oh, no.
Yeah,
this is... No, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I just want to say this is Faunalyn.
Why, pleasure.
Pleasure to meet you, Faunalyn.
This is a reach and a half. But I've actually found in my life that if you ask for outrageous things, sometimes outrageous things happen. You mentioned magic. You couldn't happen to, I don't know, do a little spell and find our friend Glimki for us?
Well, my magic's more of a sort of a show magic. It's very presentation based. The applications aren't very useful in finding things. It's more of showing things. Was he staying on the island?
Yes, he's like in our adventuring party. We're kind of a codependent trio. And we can't find him this morning, which is unusual because for the last 2 weeks that we've been together, we basically have only been separated to sleep and sometimes go to the bathroom.
Yeah, so we're getting kind of worried. I have his breakfast here. It's getting cold, and I show him 30 eggs.
I think you wish it was getting cold.
Yes, we brought him 30 hot eggs. Actually, do you want these 6? Because they're burning my hands.
You see that Peter sort of reaches out a very mucky-covered hand. Well, now go on then. I'll have a couple of eggs.
Okay.
I plop all
How many would you
straight
like?
into the clay.
Yeah, he fishes them out and tries to sort of brush them off, maybe dips them in the water.
You wouldn't happen to know, what was the name of that other magician? Zach, remind me. I wrote, we met a silly magician in my notes, which is not helpful for this moment.
Yeah, no, I was kind of going for broken and rebuilt man, but we can go with silly magician if you prefer. I don't even know if you asked him his name, frankly, but it is Hamish. Hamish Verazlo.
We know, because he walked up and introduced himself. You don't happen to know Hamish, do you? We met him last night. Didn't talk a lot, but he seemed to have a similar kind of shtick where he was about, the showmanship, sleight of hand magic.
Zach? Do I know Hamish?
Yeah, Hamish does not like you. He came to this island. His tragic life story was ever since he was a boy, all he wanted to do was be a brilliant performing magician, and he would pull coins from people's ears. And guess what card they had? And he quickly realized that in a world where people can summon dragons and open portals in space, that his parlor tricks were never going to be as respected as he wanted. And he came to the island seeking refuge and seeking a new beginning, and that is when he met you, a promising young magician.
Okay, yeah. Oh, well, no, I do know of Hamish, yeah. We don't get along swimmingly. He thinks I'm a bit of a better grade wizard than him, but I would say we're on par. I think his is more street magic and mine's more stage magic, but, it's all magic in my case, and I reached out a hand, and, well, when I shocked him by accident with my arcane fingers, then I think we sort of started off on the wrong foot. But no, I do know Hamish, but unfortunately we're not on the best of terms.
He was rather off-putting yesterday, so I think it speaks well of you that you don't get along with him, Glimki would like you so much, because Glimki would probably be like, let me buy your life rights, and we'll put up a show, and then we'll, set it to music. Man, if we find Glimki, I'm going to send him your way. You'll get along beautifully.
This Glimki fella sounds like quite the entrepreneur.
He is.
Out of nowhere, a couple days ago, he showed such a passion for side hustles. And I just, it's nice to encourage your friend's dreams.
So how long has your friend there, Glimki, been missing?
I don't know. I last saw him last night, I think. And then he just wasn't in his dome this morning. No one's seen him.
There were flower petals strewn about, which is odd. He's a gardener, but why would there be flower petals in his room?
Did he start growing flowers, maybe? Is he embarrassed?
How would they grow?
Is that why we can't find
over
him?
Maybe he started growing flowers, but did he finish growing flowers?
I don't know. I mean, he already has leaves in his hair. Maybe there's flowers there now, too.
That's true. Okay, well, Peter, if you see someone with flowers in his hair... Actually, do you accept commissions?
Well, it depends on what the job is, but potentially.
Actually, I don't have very much money at all. But maybe we could work out a quid pro quo, and you could sort of sprint about You seem to go here as a student. I assume you're a round earther.
I've recently educated myself up into a higher position, thank you. And he points down at his robes where he sort of adorns the next level of stripes or what have you.
Level 2.
It's like Star Trek rank 6.
But no, yes, I have been educated here, and I have been born and raised here, so I know my way around. So if there is anywhere that I could look? Maybe if you could tell me where you've been, I could go on my way and have a little look for you.
That would be tremendously helpful. Yes. So, born and raised here? They're procreating? The Round Earthers?
Like on this island or in this camp? Like in this compound?
No. On the island. Not I wasn't conceived at the hot springs. No. I have a little bit of I won't get into it now, but yes, I was effectively born here, and they've been very good to me. They've taught me their ways, and anyway, it's not for me to tell. Let me help you find your friend.
Oh, that would be very nice.
And as you say that, a distant bell goes off. It is signaling that it is 10 o'clock and that the morning session with Jar Arith will be beginning very shortly. This is a daily part of your life here, something you have never missed.
And as soon as that happens, you sort of see like shock in his eyes. Oh no, sorry, we've been talking for far too long and I've been playing with my silly little mud. I'll help you look for your friend after this. I've got to go. And he wipes his hands on his like robes and oh no, look at this now, it's a bloody state. And he gets the water and starts just sort of splashes it and smears it around. He's like, oh no, and he just starts running off, sort of whispering and muttering to himself.
Oh.
Wait, did you know that they were like indoctrinating children here?
I don't know. I didn't know people live their whole lives here. I thought this was like a 2-week program type thing.
I know. Like, I thought it was like kind of a sinister money scam thing, but now I'm realizing it's like a lifestyle cult.
That poor man, Peter, he must have no money
Poor
left.
man. Oh my
spent
god,
his
did
whole
he have
life
money
here.
to begin with? Oh
I
my
don't
god, he's
know.
like an indentured servant.
Oh no. Well, if we see him again, maybe we can, I don't know, bring him with us?
I really do think Glimki is going to want to side hustle him. Maybe that will like open his horizons up.
I think Glimki could make this man into like a famous stage magician or whatever he wants to be.
Glimki is very capable and he has lofty goals, so he's yet unproven, but let's see what he can do. We have to find him though. I'm actually starting to get like fairly worried because this isn't consistent of Glimki.
I know. Do you think he would attend morning session? Should we go check that out or should we look for him other places?
No, he doesn't like the round earth stuff. He hates it even more than I do, so I don't think he would.
Yeah, that he gave me that feeling also that he really hates being here. Do you think he went out like outside of the compound then? Back towards the ship?
I mean, he does like a good story. Maybe there's like a pub or something out in the dunes that he might have gone to looking for, you know, a tale, a bit of adventure. I just can't believe he
Yeah.
wouldn't leave a note. And what is up with those flowers?
Was the flowers the note? Were they making like a word on the floor and we didn't read?
Oh god, did we walk through it? Did we mess up his
Oh no!
his rose petals he laid out for us? Oh no. He's not trying to propose, is he? You two had a thing for a moment there.
No, I thought he had a thing with the captain. That's why I was thinking maybe we can ask her.
Oh, Grimke puts out wild vibes. Okay, let's go talk to the captain and go check to see if the flowers are making a word.
Okay.
Yeah, I will say you run down the hill. Maybe you walk. What's the urgency? Slow down. You walk down the hill back into the basin proper, and the largest, second largest dome in the entire compound is the personal residence of Jar Arith. And as you are walking towards, we'll say, the residential section where Glimki's dome is tucked away, the door opens and the captain, Zoralo Depthsbane, steps out, followed by Jar Arith, of course. Zoralo, this dwarven woman, and Jar Arith, this skinny elven man with a spray tan complexion and miscolored roots and just blindingly white veneers, steps out behind her and he says,
Now, I believe everything we've talked about will be taken care of soon as we can assemble the requisite wood and nails and what have you. We'll have your ship right as rain. And I, in return, will receive many more portraits.
and the captain says, well, again, I don't know much about the portraits, but we'll be glad to be on our way. Thank you, Captain. Thank you. I'm the captain. You're the captain now. Aye, you're the captain now. He says, We don't Captain Phillips post here. Thank you kindly. And they split up, and he sees the two of you and says, now you better hurry up. We got the morning session starting soon, and it's a doozy. We're talking about the horizon problem.
There's a problem with the horizon?
Oh, there's a big, pardon my French, fucking problem with the horizon.
Am I? Faunalyn's eyes keep darting between his chest and his eyes.
He's like flat-chested, isn't he?
Yeah, very much so. There's not much. He's a very lithe individual. There is not much excess, we'll say, fat, for lack of any other words, on his person. He definitely does not have breasts. I will say that. Does not have much extra flesh anywhere, for that matter.
Well, thank you, Master Arith. And may I say, I've seen Clay's portrait of you, and it is a vision.
Isn't it, though? It's really got me thinking about some life changes I might want to make.
Make them.
All
for
right.
the good of society. Okay.
I suppose I will.
Are we mandated to go to this session thing?
You are expected as part of your general attendance here at the Learning Center. There's the morning session and the afternoon session, as well as the various optional sessions throughout the day with breakout rooms and bonus presentations. One such presentation tonight by our dear Peter, who's been working on some, well, he hasn't told me too much about it, frankly, but he thinks he's found definitive proof that Zav is round, which I already knew, and most folk with common sense know by now, but sometimes folks need more than just common sense.
Cool. But you don't know what his presentation actually is about?
Oh, he's always playing in the mud and doing his little magic spells, and I assume it's something to do with that, but I'm always welcome to be surprised.
That's nice. What's up with him? He grew up here?
Oh, yes, he grew up here. I found him in a basket in the water and more or less raised him as my son ever since. And he's always saying, Papa, I would like to go and see the larger world. Please let me off the island. And I say, no, boy, it is too dangerous out there for a simple-minded fellow such as yourself. You need to stay here and keep learning about how the world is round. Otherwise, you might fall off it. He's not a prisoner.
Yes, I think conventional parenting wisdom is that children should be kept in one place forever and never allowed to leave, right? So it sounds like you're doing everything correctly.
You must be a mother yourself.
Ugh.
Sorry, did I cross the line there? You just seem very knowledgeable about parenthood. I was not trying to imply anything, but you seem upset, and now I'm upset because of it.
Well, actually, okay, no, yes, I'm looking for my son. He's about half my height. He has leaves in his hair. Where is he? Have you seen him? I need to parent him properly or something.
Ah, Mr. Treefellow.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Treefellow will be in the Reformation Room for the foreseeable future. Sometimes newcomers come with their far-fangled flat Zav ideals, and you can just tell they're got deep roots, and I find some time in the Reformation Room can sort of, well, it's sort of a herbicide, if you will. Sort of kills any of those free-thinking ideas and really brings one online to the truth of the world. So he's there for now. We'll let him out in a day or possibly a week, whenever his mind is sufficiently altered.
No, it's not enough punishment. Let me go in there and I will give him the hot spoon. We're going to clear it away and he will be far more open-minded. He needs proper discipline, you know, as a parent yourself.
He shakes his head and says, no can do. Reformation Room works best when it is that person alone with their thoughts and my lectures. I find if you bring in more than one individual, they can muddy the waters. They can use each other for emotional support to try and get through the ordeal, but we can't be having that.
Okay,
Where
and
is
then
the Reformation?
counterpoint, I was going to say so we can avoid it. Yes, where is it?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you worry about that. You keep asking questions, you'll find your way there soon enough, I promise you that. But why don't we head into the morning session, talk about the horizon problem, and then I believe there is a lovely egg race this afternoon. It's going to be a delight, fun, laughs all around. Everyone's going to have a good time.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. But Clay.
Yeah.
We need to ask somebody who knows where the Reformation Room is.
Do you think Peter might know? Oh, but he might be preparing for his presentation.
He's literally the only person we know who knows this place that isn't Marlon Whisperhand's partner, and I don't want to talk to him again.
Okay.
That's fine. I didn't want to talk to you either.
Oh, Oh, Mr. Chronic, I had no idea you were there. It's your invisible cape.
This doesn't need to be a thing. And he just walks past you into the learning center dome.
Okay, yes, let's ask Peter. Where?
Okay, but isn't Mr. Chronic a investigator like Marlin is? Maybe he could help us find Glimki.
But I'm worried he's sexist too.
Oh, you know what? It's probably fine. Yeah,
we'll
you're
circle
right.
back around to him. At least we know where Glimki is. He's just being minorly tortured. It's fine.
Yeah, we need to find him and get him out of there, though.
Urgently, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Is it believable that I could be Glimki's mother?
No.
Thank you. Okay, good. Good, yes. Good. Okay, good.
You're more the older sister type, I think.
I am older. But
Yeah.
anyway, I need to up my skincare routine.
I mean, you're both just
We head to
so
the morning.
old.
That's true. And you're so young. You're like a baby.
You're like 300 years old.
I'm 100 and give or take 20 years, 20 to 40. I forget what I wrote in my
Wow.
backstory, but I'm sub 150.
Yeah, that's very old. Glimki's also very old, which I found out recently.
Yeah, she's like a
Shocking.
little old man. I know.
Mhm.
Okay, let's go to the morning session.
Okay. Wait, we're going to the morning session? Okay, let's go.
Yes, because we need to ask Peter where the
Yes,
Reformation room is.
Okay.
The two of you link arms and walk into the entrance of the Jar Arith Learning Center. It is, of course, this large presentation room, like a university lecture hall that wraps around. It's this big circular chamber, and there's just rows of benches that are stacked up on top of each other, leading down to the central stage. Some of the glitz and glamour from the opening session is absent in this presentation. There's no smoke, there's no sudden appearances, but Jar Arith is standing at the center of the room, and as the two of you sit down, he picks up a piece of paper and he says,
Now, who here can tell me, what is this piece of paper? Miss Campbell.
It's a piece of paper.
Wrong.
What?
It's flat. Flat as some people would have you believe the world is. Now, Miss Campbell, why did you come down here?
Okay.
and you descend down the stairs and stand on the stage with him, and he kind of stands a foot away from you, and sort of at eye level, he puts the piece of paper between the two of you, so kind of just like your eyes are just poking out, staring straight at each other.
Now, you can see me, right?
Yeah.
And I can see you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, isn't that interesting? We can see each other across a great flat surface. Huh. Now, try this one on for size.
And he takes one of the globes that you see just everywhere on this facility, and he picks up one of these globes and he holds it between the two of you, blocking your face from his.
Now, how about now? Can you see me?
Yeah, I could see you're holding the globe in between us.
Okay, but can you see my eyes?
No.
Correctamundo. Why don't you go take a seat? Now, this is what we refer to as the horizon problem. If Zav were a flat world, presumably, I could walk up to the coast, and I could look across the Elsween Sea, and I could see the entirety of the world laid out before me. I could see all the way to Nil Valdir, see them little dwarf fellows running around on their little mountaintop. Wouldn't that be something, huh? But guess what? You can't see that far, because the world's not flat. It's curved. And so, that's why you can't see them. Has anybody here looked across the ocean recently? Seen a bunch of dwarves running around a mountain? Peter, you seen any dwarves running around a mountain recently?
No, I haven't seen any. I tend not to look out into the sea. It scares me a little bit, but...
Good lad. You let that ocean scare you. Stay right here. Keep filling that brain up with knowledge. One day you'll know enough to go out and spread the good word, but not yet, son. Not yet. Now, that's basically the meat and potatoes of this whole thing, but I'm going to stretch it out over another 45 minutes to an hour and a half, if that's good with everybody. No notes? All right, perfect. And he just talks for so long with these annoying circular arguments that really don't go anywhere past what he covered in the first 3 minutes about how the world cannot be flat because you would see across it. Surely. And as your minds start to just like hum and buzz
and you feel just like a bit of blood trickling out of your ear. He says, all right, that's all. Everybody grab some lunch. Afterwards, we'll have egg races and then be back here for the afternoon session. I call it, What's Up with Clouds? And people begin to filter out of the learning center.
Oh,
Peter!
Oh, hello there. How did you find your friend?
no.
He's in the Reformation room.
Oh, he's got ideas that need to be taken out of his head. I understand.
Have you been in the Reformation room often?
Yes and no. I have fond and not so fond memories of the place. But if he's only been there a day, he might be out shortly. It depends on how tight knit those little ideas are. If they're really bedded in there, he could be in there a week. But if he's open minded, he could be out maybe tomorrow.
He's unbelievably stubborn, and we need to see him now. So, would you just be wonderful and show us the way to the room?
And he looks around, mainly at Zhao. Well, I'm not really supposed to show anyone, but I'm sure you could have one little visit, just to say that you know where he is, and he could tell you that he's on the mend.
I'm going to hop in here with a little bit of geography. You actually don't know where the Reformation room is.
Oh.
Nobody, it is not in the basin. It is not in the learning center compound. You have spent some time there. You are aware that people are taken there. You don't remember how you got there or how you got back. You remember getting sleepy, and when you woke up, you were in the Reformation room.
Mm-hmm.
And then same thing with your return. You one day, after some time in there, woke up back in your sleeping dome.
That's awful.
I'd love to take you there for a visit, but I don't know where it actually is. You see, they take you there after you have a little nap, and then you wake up there and, bright lights, and of course Jar is there talking to you. But, you listen for a bit, and you nod, and you agree, and then you get to take, you go sleepy again, and then you wake up in your bed. So, I mean, I'm sure it's around here somewhere, but you really shouldn't go looking for it.
Holy shit! What? This place is crazy!
So we have no idea where Glimki might be. Just that he was taken in the middle of the night.
Oh, don't worry, he's safe. He's perfectly fine. His physical form will not be harmed in any way.
The thing is, we like Glimki's brain the way it is, so I don't think that the Reformation room is a good fit for our group.
Well, might I inquire why you came to the island in the first place?
Are you a snitch, Peter? Peter, are you a snitch or are you cool?
He looks at his feet and then looks around. I could be cool.
Have you heard of Erdenine? It's a little ways across the Elsewin Sea.
I've heard of it. Unfortunately, I've heard about their poor education system as well. Teaching people about the conical system. It doesn't make any sense. You see, when you look across, let me get the piece of paper, hang on. And he goes around you. And he comes back with the paper. Now look, I'm sure you're listening to Jar there, but look, and he tries to hold it up against your eyes, Clay. He's like, look, now tell me, can you see me?
I can see you.
Now see, look, the people over there. I mean, look, I can't do it. I can't do justice the way Jar does it. He has that certain charisma. Anyway, yes, I've heard of the place.
Minus your quarrel with the education system. The point is, they have a princess, and she's very well liked. Her name is Callista Galtries, and she's been kidnapped by somebody. Also by Clay a little bit, but just in general, she's missing. But it's like a classic adventure. You like adventure stories, don't you? You've been trapped on this island all your life. You must, yearn for a taste of adventure. The point is, we're on an adventure right now to rescue the princess. It's very epic and very heroic.
It does sound quite the story, but as Jar says, keep your nose in the books and not looking out onto the horizon or at the sea. Don't even step on the coastline. But I mean, I stay inside a lot. So you're missing a princess, but you kidnapped her, and now you want her back. And Glimki, this fellow, did he help steal her? And I'm a little confused. It sounds like you might be the bad guys here. I'm not entirely sure.
Faunalyn, it sounds like he's a snitch. We need to...
No.
He said he was cool.
No. Look, I was just trying to wrap my head around it. I think I don't understand. But look, I can still be cool. And he tries to like, he like shrugs his shoulders and yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you look cool. I think a cool guy would find out where the Reformation Center is, the Reformation Room, and then tell us so that we can extract our friend and go find the princess before they warp his brain using some kind of perverse magic or psychological control.
I would be going against all of the teachings of my entire life. And I don't really know if I trust you. I've met you for about an hour ago. And
But don't you want to be cool?
I do want to be cool.
What do you really want? Beyond being cool, what's your price? You know?
I haven't really thought about it. No one's, a lot of people tell me what to do. I haven't had the chance to say, no one really asks me what I want to do. I mean, I've got this touch of the arcane about me, and I think I could do wonderful shows. There's lots of wizards out there you hear slaying dragons and things, but I'm not sure I want all that. I want to just provide entertainment.
There's a really big world out there, flat, round, whatever you call it. The point is, there's a world with about 1 billion stages and people who like to be entertained. And also, they serve food that aren't just eggs.
Yes.
You're going to love it. We can get you onto the boat that we're going to take, okay? You just got to help us a little bit here.
You see him start to sort of like twiddle his thumbs and sort of shuffle his feet. Your friend, I mean, I didn't meet him, but is he cool?
Unfortunately, he's so cool that he makes me feel like a loser constantly. He's like the coolest guy in the world. Don't tell him I said that, but he's amazing.
Okay. Maybe then I could have a little nose around and see if I could find where they take people who have stupid ideas.
No, cool ideas.
Cool ideas. Yeah. I forgot. Yeah, let me have a little look there. Of course, it'll have to be top secret, and I can't tell anyone because that'd be going against Jar's teachings there. Let me have a little look for you.
Thank you, Peter. That would be very
you.
cool.
Yes.
Okay, we got to get this guy out of here.
Okay, so what are you doing?
Peter,
Yes.
we need a secret place to meet and discuss. What is the best, most secret place for us to meet and discuss?
Ooh. Zach, do you have any suggestions that would be a little bit out of the way?
I mean, there's always the hot springs. I don't know about you, but I went to a school that, oh man, you won't. I do know about you actually. It was right by a Tim Hortons. That's a Canadian coffee chain, and that was always the place to hang out during if you were allowed to go off campus. We're going to Tim Hortons. You best believe we're going to Tim Hortons. The hot spring is kind of the Tim Hortons of the Jar Arath Learning Center. There's not really a lot of great spots to see people, hang out with people. It's either the disc golf course, really, maybe the amphitheater if one's looking for a little bit more of an audience. You have your own dome, of course. It's not quite a tower. You have maybe asked for one, but it goes against the zoning rules of the Jar Arath Learning Center. So it's a dome.
I reckon, we'll go there. Okay, it'll have to be super duper secret, but you could meet me at my little residential dome. Okay?
How long will you need? When shall we meet?
Well, I've never really had to nose around because I've really been quite happy here. But you're kind of trying to convince me, and I don't understand. But I've got this yearning, so I really think I'll just give it a go. And I don't know, maybe give me an hour, and I'll turn up again, and I let the guys know whereabouts the dome is, and then I'll hopefully be back. And if I'm not there, let yourselves in. It should be unlocked, and just don't go into my things.
Okay, we wink. Won't
Okay.
go into your things. Don't worry.
Mhm. All right, we'll see you later.
I don't really trust that, but okay. Okay, I'm gonna be as quick as I can so I can be there back before you guys. Okay, and then I run off.
Oh, shit, we didn't do a blood pact.
Oh, well,
How are we going to trust him?
There's just no way to trust him now.
I'm going to snitch right now.
No!
Okay, so the two of you go looking for his dome spot to meet up, to rendezvous. Peter, where are you going?
I will probably head over to... Is there a main building?
This would be it. There's a
Yeah.
few administrative offices kind of wrapped around, but yeah, this is the main building for sure.
Okay, I probably would have been through here a few times, so
Oh,
I'll
definitely.
either head to something like a HR or an office, if there is that.
I'd say, as per your knowledge, you were a young kid at one point here, running around trying to get broken people with way too much money and not enough common sense to play hide and seek. You've been through here There's nothing really of that nature necessarily in the learning dome, but there is Jar's personal chambers.
I'd say if I've not really been there and I've had, time to think about the other places that I've been, and if there's an area that I've never been to, I'd probably head there. So if that's Jar's personal quarters, I would sort of beeline to that, maybe while he's still busy, sort of finishing up from the show.
Sure. And so you do. He is, you see, talking with this large half-ogre woman named Hallie, who's basically the closest thing this place has to security in case anybody gets a little too vocal about how the world is actually flat. She kind of steps in. You see Jar is chatting with her, and she's just kind of looking down on him and smiling with a lazy smile. And you slip past and head to his dome.
Okay.
It is, as I mentioned, it is larger than the regular dome, smaller than the Learning Center dome, but it is nice. It's, it's painted a nice blue color and has a simple wooden door barring entry.
Okay. Can I just try and open it and head on in?
It is locked.
Would I know of the key he uses, or like if it's a combination, or?
It would be a key.
Yep.
He keeps it on his person, you presume.
Is there, or would I know of any other way in?
There's a skylight.
How tall is the dome?
So now imagine a dome, right?
Yes.
Now imagine a big dome.
Whoa.
Yeah. I can see. I see. We're connecting right here.
Okay.
It is, I'd say, 15 to 20 feet tall at the center.
Okay. Can I do some magic?
I would love to see some.
He sort of looks up at the dome, looks around, and I would say he heads around to like the most secretive side, and you see his sort of clay hardened hands, and he brushes them together and rubs some of the clay flakes off, and then you see that his fingers sort of start to turn purple, and he sort of hovers them over himself, but he focuses on his feet, and I sort of cast Adjust Density, which I will make myself lighter.
Amazing.
My weight is half of normal, my speed increases by 10 feet, and I can jump twice as far as normal.
Oh my
So
gosh.
with that, I would like to sort of take a little bit of a back step, feeling sort of light on my feet, and then take a run up and try and run up the side of the dome, and maybe jump the first bit until it gets a little bit flatter, and then traverse the top.
Amazing. You do so. You spring up, and we'll say like in 3 steps, you are standing at the top of this dome. And yeah, there's this little glass skylight that fills it with some natural light during the day. And yeah, you feel exposed, but no one seems to have noticed you for the time being.
Okay. Can I approach the skylight and open it and drop myself in?
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to say it is like a solid sheet of glass.
Okay.
So you might have to break it unless you got another, adjust glass type spell. But it doesn't seem thick. You think it'll leave a mess for sure, and obviously be some property damage, but it'll get you in at least.
I take out a lump of clay from one of my pockets and I ball it up so it's like nice and hard. And then I look at the window and I look around at the island and I can say, "You've fucking kept me here for too fucking long, Dad." And I fucking chuck the clay into the window and smash it.
The glass just collapses out. The light, it's already pouring through, but it's unfiltered now. Unfiltered light. And you are able to step in. I imagine you're still like a little lighter than normal.
It's a concentration spell or up to a minute, but I guess I'm concentrating on it. So
yeah, we'll say if you just step in, you kind of slowly descend into Jar's personal chambers. And it is like you've been in here supervised, personal meetings, but you've never had unmonitored access to this space. And you look around and there is a very nice bed, this feather bed. There's this beautiful wooden desk. It's just carved from this big piece of elven lumber with bits of paper. There is a little bookshelf, mostly filled with Jar's personal texts that he's written. He's written many books on the subject. And there is this very nice. It seems to be made from the same wood as the desk, upright piano pressed up against one wall. And you're thinking, it's a dome. How can an upright piano be pressed up against the wall? And you would be right to think that.
And no more information on that. Okay.
I thought that was going somewhere.
I was like, is it a curved piano or is there something behind the piano?
I'm going to investigate the piano because that was weird. And I hope that was something rather than just a joke.
It's hard to tell with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it's this beautiful antique piano carved from this rich elven lumber. It's got these glistening white ivory keys and also some black ones. Don't know if you know how pianos work, but there's usually both. And there are 2 pieces of sheet music placed upon it. One is entitled The Lie, and it is about just like a 1-page piece of music. And the other is entitled The Truth, and there are the bars, but there are no notes.
Oh, man. What? I'm going to say, because I'm like somewhat stage performer-y, I maybe would have tinkered on a piano in my youth.
There's not much to do here. Once you've played the disc golf course, you really start to run out of things to do on the island.
Okay.
And so some personal, like private piano lessons under Jar's watch would probably have happened at some point. I'd say you know some basic music theory.
Okay. So I walk up to the piano, the strange piano that I shouldn't know because I've been in here before. And I look at the sheet music and I say, oh yeah, The Lie. I've lived that, I tell you. And I flick the cover off of the keys. And then I read the sheet music and play the notes sort of very quickly and quietly of The Lie.
You play it. No performance check necessary. You know what? Give me a performance check, but not for the reason you think. It's more like a history or like knowledge thing. Give me a performance check, but you can use your intelligence instead of charisma. We're getting zany with it today on Bard Soup.
My first roll is a natural 20, so I will take that.
Welcome to the show!
Yay.
Welcome to the show.
Woo!
How
My
auspicious.
Nice.
performance is -1.
That's fine. You play it still very well.
Good.
You play it and nothing happens. I don't know if you're expecting something to happen, but nothing happens. It is a piano. It plays the notes. There's nothing, it's not like you hit like a weird dead note and you open it up and there's a skeleton and then the skeleton points in a direction and there's like a key on a wall. Nothing like that. Hey, I know what you're thinking. That's not happening. So calm down. There's no skeleton. But you play through the song, this 1-page sheet music, and it is this minor song, and you look at the key signature and you see that there are 4 flats, which tell you this is in F minor.
I look at that and then look over at the truth and just see what key signature that is in.
There are no sharps or flats, which we'll say
C
with
major.
a different key signature.
Okay. I take them off and flip them over just to check the backside of the paper.
Blank.
Oh man, I'm wasting time. Messing about with this piano.
I would say with your performance check, evaluating this music based off its merits, assuming that it is not merely an omission, you would assume that the key signature of the truth would either be C major or A minor.
Mhm.
Those would be the 2 key signatures without any sharps or flats.
Can I play the notes of The Lie, but in C major?
You can.
And does the skeleton pop out?
This time a skeleton does pop out and he says, I'm not supposed to be here! And then he disappears again.
Oh.
Oh, it's not Glimki's skeleton, is it?
It is. Sadly, he's dead. I wasn't kidding about the CIA thing. He's gone. He was doing all that propaganda, if you recall. Always saying like, oh, America first. And I'm like, what do you mean?
Weird thing for Glimki to say.
Crazy stuff. Yeah, but it is a difficult, like a more difficult adjustment, especially to just like kind of transcribe on the spot. But you managed to like claw your way through it, playing this in a C major. Nothing happens. No skeletons. I was lying about the skeleton. I'm sorry. I won't do it again. I will.
I will take them both, fold them up and put in my pocket, and I will leave the piano.
Okay.
I will quickly head into... Is there any rooms I would have never been allowed to be in here before?
It's a dome-shaped system.
Oh, it's open.
I will say, not a lot of dividing
Okay.
walls. But going back to the piano, there does seem to be like a solid wall behind. The piano is not curved. It appears to be a rarity amongst the dome-shaped architecture of your youth, a right angle behind the piano.
Can I push the piano in any way?
Yeah, you attempt to, and it does not move. It is almost like it is bolted into place.
Oh man, there's a puzzle here and I'm not getting it.
I don't get it either.
Oh,
just
thank
so
God.
you know.
I'm loving
You
like
people aren't sitting here
this
like,
piano
no.
puzzle though.
Can I roll some sort of investigation check to give me a clue?
Yeah, just give me like a basic, I'll just say like an intelligence check. You're a smart guy.
Okay. Ooh, dear. That's a 10 in total.
C major didn't do anything,
Oh yeah.
but A minor
Yeah.
also is a key signature with no sharps or flats.
And then I go, hey, let's try the other one. And then continue to play the same thing, but in the different key signature.
You shift everything up 4 semitones. You play the song with no flats. And as you play the final note, the piano starts to push up against you as a pair of skeletons push it away from the wall, revealing a hidden passage. And you can see a set of stairs leading down beneath the dome.
I poke my head around. I say, oh, Dad, you were a crafty one this whole time behind the piano. I mean, it looked strange, but you never let me play A minor. I've always wanted to play A minor. You kept me away from that key signature for so long, and now I know why. And I run in without thinking of the other two.
Whoa! All right. It is this set of stairs carved into the natural stone of the island. And they spiral down and down and down. And it goes on for several minutes, I'd say, just like descending deeper and deeper beneath the learning center until the stairs end and the ground flattens out and you step into this large subterranean cavern. There's a little bit of play in the floors, and you look down and you see that there's deposits of clay. This is a clay-rich island, and this is a cave with a lot of clay. There are these bits of mineral-rich water that drip down from the ceiling, forming little pools throughout the space. But perhaps most interestingly, there's a set of tracks with a simple minecart placed upon them next to a lever. And you see that they sort of just wind off into the distance further than your human eyes can see in this dark, unilluminated space.
I'd say there's parts of me that want to push on, but then there's that sort of moment I realize that the other two were desperate for their friend, and I don't know if I'll have the chance to go back and get them now. But I think as much as I want answers, I also want to do good by them. So taking it in, I run back up the stairs. I try and reverse what I played or play the same thing to try and replace the piano. I tidy up. I'm giving you a lot of information. I tidy up as much of the glass as possible, and I remove my ball of clay, and I try and leave the front door if possible.
Yeah, you unfortunately will have to unlock the door.
Yeah.
And leave it unlocked to depart out the door. But you clean up the glass as good as you can. Hopefully he just thinks he forgot to lock up behind him or something else. In the time you've known him, which is all your time, sort of presents this folksy charm, this salt of the earth kind of guy, but there is a intelligence and shrewdness within him that you are fully aware of. It's the kind of thing that comes from breaking a window as a kid and trying to lie about it, or stealing an extra, well, not quite cookie, but if you could turn just like a cookie dough ball, because if you cook the cookie, then it gets flat, and that's sacrilegious. Stealing an extra one of those that you never could really get away with much. So you just hope that maybe this one time you can get away with it. And you unlock the door, slip out into the early afternoon, and it seems like the egg races are fully on. You look over at the disc golf course, and there's a bunch of people with spoons and more of those little round eggs in their mouths just running across. Oh, what fun. And there's maybe a little tinge of sadness. And You realize things are changing. Maybe you're growing up. Maybe these outsiders are poisoning your mind. Something is changing. Because normally you'd be there. You'd be running with a spoon and an egg in your mouth and having the best time ever. You do it every 3 days here, but like, it's always fun. But you hurry back to your personal dome and let yourself in, and you find Clay and Faunalyn doing what?
We're rifling through his things.
Oh, no.
I'm sitting on his bed eating an egg.
How many do you have left?
I'd say 4 out of 24.
Oh my god. So many eggs.
I feel like we probably went through a phase where we were bored before we resorted to the rifling, where we were like throwing the eggs into each other's mouths from across the dome.
Yeah, we missed lunch, so, you know.
Yeah, we have some cold eggs here. Be ashamed to let them go to waste.
Mm-hmm. And we're rifling through his stuff.
And we're rifling through his stuff.
Peter, you walk in and you see just like bits of smushed egg up against the base of the walls. And Faunalyn is just fully in your dresser. All your clothes are the same. They're all just white robes with brass accents, but she is going through every single one of them.
And I burst through. I'm like, oh, guys, I told you not to look at me robes and my things. And why is there egg everywhere?
Why did you wink when you said it if you didn't want us to actually do it?
You winked. I didn't wink.
Oh, I knew someone winked. That's my bad. I knew somebody winked. Anyway, why would you care if we go through your drawers? It's literally 100 of the same nightgown.
And he runs over and starts to like bundle them up and shove them back. He's, no, they're personal anyway. And you didn't go in that drawer over there, did you?
What's in that drawer over there?
No, don't do it. And he runs and blocks it. Anyway, I found a secret tunnel in my dear dad's dome. Now, I went on running into it sort of brazenly. And, well, then I thought of you and your friend, and I couldn't leave you, so I don't know if now is the right time, but I tried to clean up after myself. And, well, I'd like to take you there when we have an opportunity.
Good
Yes,
work.
that's
Yes.
excellent work. Outstandingly good work.
I wasn't
Thank you.
there, but I feel like it was very cool. Very cool of you.
Oh, there was a piano and skeletons, and I had to play in different keys, and I finally got to play in
Wow.
A minor, and I mean, it's a whole story, but I can tell you on the way.
Very well done, Peter. I must say, you're taking to this rebellion thing like a duck to water. It's really, it looks great on you. You're glowing.
Mm-hmm.
And you start to see him, like, contemplate, like, is this the right thing to do?
Are you feeling morally conflicted?
Well, it's been 22 years here, and I mean, I've decided, I mean, there's things that have led up to this moment, of course, but now I'm changing it all in one day, it seems, and I've never done anything like this.
Well, you know, if my home hadn't been set on fire, I wouldn't have found my way here and met my very good friends, and I would never know the truth about the world. So sometimes change is abrupt and scary, but you've just got to get through the scary bit so that you can get to the rewarding bit. And I think you're well on your way. So keep being brave. You're doing great.
And you see, like, a little smile crack in the side of it, sort of a little tiny little smile, sort of. Oh, okay then. That's a touching story you've got there.
Thank you. I'm actually outstanding. I'm really amazing myself here because I only started doing this be a better friend to people and be nice to people thing like 2 days ago. And I think that I've found my calling recently as well.
Well, I'm glad I've met you now.
you should be very grateful. So when can we go into the tunnels?
Question for Zach, would Zhao be taking part of the egg race?
He never misses one.
Okay. Well, then, while they're running around with their spherical eggs, I think we might have time to run over there now. We'd have to be very quick.
Yeah, let's go now.
Let's go.
Okay,
Sneaky style.
I'll let you leave first, because I don't trust you in here anymore.
Oh.
Oh, I want to know what's in the drawer. I'm nosy. Okay, let's go.
The three of you sneak out across the campus of the Jar Arth Learning Center and enter this large dome. And yeah, you step in, and Clay, you glance up and you just see shattered glass at the top. And yeah, it's this nice office that I described it once, and I won't describe again, dear listener. If you weren't listening 47 minutes ago, then joke's on you, man. I don't know. Be better.
Okay, now guys, hurry on in, and I'll have to shut up the door. And look, head over onto the piano, and I'll show you how it all works. I run over and play the same thing, and hopefully it reactivates the piano.
Yeah, once again, he plays this sad tune, and as he plays the final note, you are shocked to see two little skeletons go, yeah, and they push the piano open, and
They speak.
it's a living, and and a passageway is opened.
See, no, they didn't speak the first time. I genuinely thought they were little statues, but apparently... Okay, now you two, don't snitch on me.
Oh, well, I was going to suggest, just so that we know that no snitching occurs. Well, Clay, what were you going to say?
Oh, no.
I was going to ask the skeletons to be cool.
Give me $1.
No.
And then no promises.
Dollars are flat and round.
Ooh.
Isn't that blasphemy?
Why do you think I'm dead?
How about a couple of eggs, and I grab the remaining eggs and I shove them into their mouth and across their jaw, across the bony teeth.
Yeah, they spit them out and then stick them in their eye sockets and then start walking around look at me, I've got eyes.
Okay, they seem cool.
Yeah.
But yes, before we start, we should do a pact, just so no one snitches on anyone.
Outstanding idea, Clay.
What kind of pact were you thinking there?
So we typically do a classic blood, spit, or piss pact.
Was it blood, sweat?
Sweat is interesting. Sweat could work.
I mean, sweat sounds like the most nice bodily sort of fluid. And I take a hand and put it under my armpit and wipe it out and then put it out.
Okay, then I'll do spit, and I spit in my hand.
Okay, I'll do blood and piss. Just to cover all the bases.
And you shake hands.
I won't say what comes next. You shake hands.
It's a high five, three-way
Getting
high
the
five.
true bird soup. Yeah,
Oh.
exactly. This is the true bird soup experience.
Yeah,
And
in
the
a collision of flesh and liquid, the pact is sealed, and
It's like a puddle in his room now. Like a little puddle in the middle of it.
DNA.
Yeah.
he'll know exactly
So
who
much
was here.
DNA.
Yeah. Okay.
In we go.
Welcome to Fantasy Pants, an actual play RPG podcast. The network won't like me saying this, but damn it, the Tythos tragedy was the result of nothing natural. It was an act of deliberate terrorism. We don't know anything except that we are hurt and we are scared. But as always, I choose to believe in the power of our luminaries. I will put my faith in the best of all worlds. We must face the storm again.
A beacon of light. That's our role.
Then shine.
What are you doing? What are you talking about?
I think you're so much fucking better than me, don't you? You are weak. Take him! Zebulon, you have to remember. You have to remember. Look at the toy. Look at the toy, Zebulon.
It's just the beginning, isn't it?
Monster! Monster! Can I take your hand? Roll for initiative.
These lights, they don't burn out at night.
Did you crit your pants?
Are you
I
kidding
crit my
me?
pants.
Oh, I can smell
I
it.
crit my pants. Those cozy fucking beds at the pale moonlight.
They're incredible. You would
Fuck
not
that
believe-
place.
Ah, stop it. It's cool.
It's not cool.
You're fucking so dead.
Wait, was that? Did you come up with that?
Shut up. I like it.
This is the most wild fucking fight. You say? Just shut up.
Jason Taylor does not shut.
Shirts are off.
You
These lights, they'll give us freedom from the dark around us.
It is, like I said, you descend down these natural stairs. There's a bit of a readiness to them, and you descend for several minutes. You can tell you are going deep into the island's core, if you will. It is dark. For Faunalyn and Clay, that's not a problem. There's no light sources, but for the two of you with dark vision, that's not a problem. Peter, you can't see so good, but that's your problem, frankly. You figure that out. I'm not going to tell you what to do. And before long, you find yourself in this subterranean cavern once again. Like I said, there's this drippy water from the ceilings forming these little pools. You cannot see how far the walls of the cavern extend, but I'd say with your dark vision, Clay, and Faunalyn, you can see that there's this mine cart on a set of tracks, and the tracks disappear off into an adjoining tunnel that winds further into the island.
Cool. Are there any like torches or anything?
There are none.
Okay, well, Peter, you keep bumping into things. So I'm going to cast, I believe I have either lights or dancing lights. I have light. I'm going to cast light on, I'm going to put my hand on Peter's shoulder and cast it on his robes so that he's just like wearing a glowing robe.
Yeah, it's like glow-in-the-dark bowling. Suddenly his clothes are emitting a faint light, and it's very cool.
Now, you see, this is even more confusing because these robes have been with me for so long, and now you're telling me that they are some sort of magical power in them. The closer I get down here, they're starting to illuminate. Now, I'm getting really confused, and I want a clear answer here now because I'm going back and forth of if I should trust you, and this is not helping at all.
Yes, feel the suspicion, feel the paranoia. Let it seep into your mind. It's productive.
I don't like it. Anyway, let's move on. At least I can see now.
Are we going in the minecart?
Ooh. Riding in a minecart does sound fun, but that way looks scenic and mysterious. I think Glimki would probably ride in the minecart, though.
Wait, which way are you? Which way looks scenic and mysterious?
I thought there's only one way.
I thought it was.
I thought there was like a winding path and then a minecart.
Yeah, the minecart goes. The tracks lead down the path. Faunalyn points at a solid wall and says, "That looks fun."
We should go this way. It's so scenic and mysterious.
That's a wall, Faunalyn.
Is she okay?
Right.
Faunalyn, you're like, I need to get my glasses adjusted. I might need a new prescription.
Yeah, Faunalyn takes off her spectacles, which never come up. I forget that Faunalyn has glasses. She takes out her glasses and pulls out another pair of little round glasses and puts them on. Okay, minecart. Who wants to push? Clay, you'll push, I assume.
Yes, I'll push. I'll put a hand on Faunalyn's shoulder, and I'll also cast light on her robes. Hey, can you see a bit better now?
Yes, look at the power of this place, Peter.
Wow.
Okay, so it's more of an outerwear sort of blessment. I understand. Clay, do you come from a place where your clothes don't glow underground?
Yeah, sadly, no.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Anyway, they might be on the final lap of the egg spoon mouth race.
Yeah.
Let's hop in the cart and go.
Okay, you guys hop in and I'll push.
I think there's a lever.
Is there a lever?
I think so. I think we could all... I reckon it might be a tight squeeze, but I reckon we could all hop in.
Can we all fit in the cart?
It is squishy, but you manage.
Who's the engine and who's the caboose?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. Anyway.
The three of you jump in an ill-defined order. One that leaves plenty of options for anyone doing fan art.
Yeah.
Use your imagination.
Sure enough, you press the lever and something clicks and the cart starts to move through the cavern. And it follows the track out of this chamber and things start to squish in a bit. The walls get in close. It seems like this tunnel maybe was carved into the stone at some point. You think the original chamber you were in was maybe a natural feature. This definitely seems manufactured. And you follow the cart through this winding tunnel for probably the better part of 10 minutes. And it's moving at a decent pace. And Peter, you're starting to think about the general topography of the island. There are parts of the island you are not allowed to go to. For as long as you've been alive, you have been permitted to be in the learning center and on rare occasions to travel to the docks. And you can't be 100% sure, but that little voice in the back of your mind is starting to tell you you might be under a place you're not supposed to be. As you travel, the walls start to expand out again, creating a larger space, more room for you. And you find yourself in another one of these large natural caverns. You see bits of clay pour slowly down the walls, piling up in soft, misshapen stalagmites, and a pool of mud bubbles in the corner. The cart continues along before coming to a stop at the end of the tracks. And before you, lies a tremendous brass door, just massive, maybe 15 feet tall and as wide. At the center of it is this robust silver lock shaped like a gaping mouth affixed to its front. And the cart stops.
Peter, your home has unbelievable set design.
Yeah, where are we?
I'm asking myself the same question. I've never seen this before.
It's a bit strange, isn't it, that they've... I don't mean to shatter your worldview any further, but isn't it just a bit strange that they've built, like, secret tunnels underneath your home that they never told you about?
Yes?
Well, maybe this is the Reformation chamber that we were looking for. And you've just never been on the way here, but you have been here before.
I suppose that is the worry, because on the inside it's not too bad, but this looks pretty horrifying. I don't think your friend should be in there any longer. I've made the decision. And I hop out of the car and walk over to the door.
Okay. It is one of those doors, and I'm going to say one of those doors, and you can feel free to disagree if these doors just aren't a thing, but it's one of those doors where the lock seems to be just embedded into it, you know, almost like a big old vault door. And like I said, it is silver, unlike the brass of the door proper, and it just looks like this big gaping mouth, and it looks complicated. I'd say, Faunalyn, you stick your head in there momentarily, and you're like, yep, that's a tough lock. Going to be real hard to pick something like this.
I'm very proficient with lock picking, by the way, but this seems to be one of those doors that I've never seen before but have heard of existing, where the lock is kind of like embedded in the door. I don't think I can pick this. Any ideas?
Are there any, like, gaps beneath the door, or, like, how thick does it look, the door itself?
We'll say you, like, put a hand on it and lean on it, put some weight on it. It does not move an inch. You try and, like, pull on it. You kind of stick your fingers in the mouth and start pulling. The door does not budge. It looks incredibly strong and heavy. It does feel like essentially like the door to a safe or something like that. Impossible to tell exactly how thick it is for most folk, probably, but you get the idea that it is robust at the very least. And it appears to be more or less flush with the walls of the cavern.
Okay.
Is the floor underneath, is that like a stone or metal, or is that natural?
It is stone, but you bend down to look at it and you see that it has been carved. It has been, it is not as rough as the surrounding cavern. It definitely looks like somebody carved out this opening, or at least smoothed out this opening so that the door would fit it proper. Unless I don't want to put ideas in your mind. Maybe you think the door is a natural occurrence, in which case.
Anything else around this cave?
Yeah, there is, like I said, there's these little stalagmites of mud. They're mud. I know I'm describing something that sounds like poop emojis. They're stalagmites made of mud and clay, mostly clay. And there is in one corner, not so far away, there is this burbling little mud pit.
Can I go look at the mud pit?
Sure. You walk over. What are you doing? Just look at...
Can I, look at this, and then go back to the door? No.
Yep, that's mud.
Yep, that's boiling mud. Can I sense that it's, like, bubbling because of heat as I get closer?
Yeah. Do you want to give me, like, either, like, a nature or an investigation check?
Yeah. I rolled a 16, and you say nature?
Nature or investigation, yeah.
I got nature. That's a 5, so 21.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, you are aware that there's these the hot springs on the island, or at least at the learning center. You might not know if there's more out there, but it does speak to some level of geothermal activity, and you imagine whatever phenomenon is causing those is probably also just heating up this mud pool and keeping it nice and warm. And you kind of hold your hand out and, feel heat emanating off of it. And I would say as you do, the light of your robes shines on this mud. And like an inverse of, we're really going Canadiana with this. In the inverse of that famous postcard, Polar Bear in a Snowstorm, you see two gleaming white reflective patches appear in the mud. And you see two eyes staring up at you. And suddenly a hand darts out and attempts to grab you.
Uh-oh.
Does a...
Probably.
Yeah, probably. 21 hit. An asshole of a question, I admit. I admit.
Yes.
Okay. This tough hand with these sharp nails grabs you by the throat, dealing...
Oh, God.
In case it matters, 4 bludgeoning damage and 2 piercing damage. So a total of 6.
Yep.
And you are grappled. And as this hand darts out of the mud and grabs you by the throat, you hear from within the mud pit, Peter! And it starts to pull you towards the mud. I'm going to have everyone roll initiative.
I don't know what this is.
What?
Oh my god.
He knows your name.
Sentient mud?
Sentient mud.
This is crazy.
Oh no, that's not good.
I got a 16.
I got a 2.
I got a 22.
Faunalyn, you hear a sudden gurgling from the nearby mud pit, and you look over to see Peter is being pulled into the mud. There is a hand sticking up out of it and just grabbing him by the throat, pulling him into the mud. What would you like to do?
What the hell? And I'm going to, I'm obviously carrying my umbrella because I've learned my lesson. So I'm going to unsheath my rapier from within my parasol and do a quick little hand flourish so that it's facing the right way in my hand, and then cut at the mud in an attempt to sever the hand that is pulling Peter into the puddle.
Go for it.
Oh, that's a natural 20.
Wow. I'm
I've
not
never
even
beaten this
surprised
allegation.
when it's you.
I know. I should stop acting surprised too. But it's really funny because I'm listening to an episode like from a few episodes back, and I had bad rolls, and I was like, haha, the streak is broken. And I think it's just evidence that I actually roll like a normal person.
Normal person.
Like with ups and
You roll
downs. I don't know.
extremes, though.
The epic highs and lows.
It's
of
true.
High school D&D. Did you have Riverdale in the
It's true.
UK? Did it cross the pond?
No, I've heard of it. I don't know
Oh,
if
it was
on-
terrible.
Yeah, fair enough.
Terrible. You dodged many bullets. Okay, so that was a 24 to hit, which I presume hits mud.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just to return the question back at you. And that is going to be, I get a sneak attack because my ally is within range. That's going to be plus 12 damage.
You rolled 4d6.
Oh, 4d6?
Crit.
Yeah, use a sneak attack. You double everything.
Oh, it's a crit! Forgot about that.
This is
That's a 23 damage.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
Faunalyn, how do you want to do this?
yes.
Okay, yeah, like I said, I pull out my blade, I do a quick hand flourish that it's facing the right way. As I'm saying, ew, what the hell? I slice down, cleanly sever the hand, do another hand flourish with my own hand so that my blade is facing kind of backwards in my hand, and I stab it backhandedly straight into the mud puddle. And then I pull it out, and I'm not gonna wipe it on Peter's robes. That's not nice. I'll wipe it on Clay's robes.
Hey.
That was weird.
What was that?
Peter, please explain.
I have no idea. Little mud goblin came out and grabbed me by the throat, and well, I'm glad you chopped its arm off and stabbed it in its head. But yeah, I have no idea. It called out my name there, and I'm really, well, I have no idea. I've never seen it before.
Why did it know you, though? Oh, I guess it's maybe seen you before because you've been down here, right?
Oh yes, I suppose. Unconscious, unknowingly, but I've been here. Maybe this thing is some sort of guardian for the door? I'm not really sure.
Well, I guess that means the door is unguarded.
Do you want to take a closer look at this so-called mud goblin?
I was going to say, can I like pull it out of the mud?
Yeah, Clay, you reach down and you grab it by the remaining arm. Or the stump, sure.
Oh, I got it by the stump.
Yeah, you grab it directly by the stump, bowling ball style, and pull it out of the mud pit. And you see it appears to be a humanoid of some sorts, sort of long, almost like unnaturally long limbs. They are covered in mud, kind of masking their features, but we'll say you kind of wipe it off their face, and to you two, it looks like a guy with sort of a long, curly black matted hair and just a handsome face, maybe at one point, but drawn a little gaunt. Just a guy. You don't know him. Peter, there was a guy a few years back, several years in fact. His name was Jordan Johnsen, and he was an attendee of the Jar Learning Center who was taken to the Reformation Room, and you don't think you ever saw him again. Until now.
I bend down and look at his face, and I start to like wipe away some of the mud. Jordan, what? And I try and like clean him up as much as possible, and I try and slap his face to wake him up. Jordan, no, come on now, Jordan. It's been, wow, you've been down here, sat in the mud for this long. Come on now, you'll be fine. Oh no.
Clay, please fix this. Clay, please do some magic and fix this immediately, please. I don't want to deal with the moral ramifications of this.
Dead.
Clay, you reach down and you check his pulse, and he is, in your medical opinion, dead.
Oh no.
Oh my god, I've never killed somebody like this before. Oh, I'm gonna be sick.
I'm sorry, Peter. I think he's gone. I don't know. Do you know this man? What was he doing in the mud?
Of course, he was a good friend a few years ago, but he disappeared, and now he's gone. Well, maybe this isn't true. This place is full of lies. This can't be him. And I like just sort of try and grab at him to see if he's like made of flesh or if he's made of like mud. Like,
yeah, you start pawing at him, and he is sadly solid. You wish your hands would squish through him, but he is flesh and blood. Less blood than he was a few minutes ago.
Why have you done this to me? Oh my god, Clay, cast the healing thingy. Please.
I don't know Revivify. That's out of my skills. I don't know it.
Oh my god.
But maybe if we preserve his body, something can be done. I try to pull at his severed arm and like stick it where the stump is.
Perfect.
Why have you done this to me, Zach? Why have you done this to me?
The crit did a lot. It happened so fast. There was going to be
initiative.
He didn't have a chance to explain himself.
No, it's fine. It's good. No, he was aggressive. He grabbed you by the throat. He had to die.
Yeah, he went straight for the throat.
Yeah, he went for the throat. He probably deserved to die, right?
Yeah. Maybe
yes,
this
he was an enemy.
your friend
I
anymore.
saved you. Holy shit! Oh my god. Oh.
you just start to see like tiny little tears roll down Pia's face.
You see them drip onto the mud covering Jordan's body.
Jordan, it is I who slew you. I didn't know you in life, but I will make this right somehow. Oh God! Faunalyn sits down and puts her head between her knees.
But he's been here this whole time? Like you never saw him again after, what, like a couple years ago?
Well, yeah, maybe he had a few moments there where he sort of talked of ideas that maybe weren't so true to the cause, and, well, we all must come down here every now and then, and we thought maybe he lived up to his word and escaped or something. I mean, he clearly ended up down here, and I don't know how he survived in a boiling pit of mud for so long, but I don't know. And why would he attack me? He did grab me by the neck there, and I mean, he felt like he was trying to pull me in.
Yes, he grabbed you by the neck. That was murderous. It was evil. It was bad. It was murderous. He was trying to kill you. I did what I had to do. He tried to kill you. I'm a hero. I'm a hero. And Faunalyn just quietly says, I'm a hero to herself while she rocks back and forth.
Oh no. Okay, well, we should figure out what he's been doing down here this whole time. I don't wish this on anybody, but if Glimki's in a similar situation, we should get him out as soon as we can. How deep was that puddle of mud?
Deep enough.
He was fully submerged?
He was fully submerged, yeah.
Do you think the mud like leads somewhere? Like he came from somewhere inside of the mud? If we can't get past the door, maybe we can swim through the mud to the other side.
Peter stands up and looks over the body and looks at the door and looks at you two and says, look, it's been a long time. I thought he was gone. I'm not sure what to think. And if this is the same fate that your friend is going to lead into, then let's not have that happen. So we either dive through the mud, like Clay has said, or we somehow get through that big brass door, and I run off and jump into the mud.
Faunalyn turns her head like slowly to Clay, like haunted style, and says, if he becomes a person of the mud, I will have no choice but to slay him too.
No, we have to go in after him, Faunalyn. We have to go save Glimki.
Okay. Carry me. I take off my wig, lay it carefully on the ground, and then immediately climb onto Clay's back. Let's do this.
Okay, I cannonball into the mud.
I'm gonna get TPK'd from asphyxiation. Mud in lungs.
Mud.
The three of you jump in. It is hot, like hot tub hot. Not like burn your skin off hot, but like, it's, you think at a certain point it'll start to get uncomfortable. And I guess you dive down beneath the surface, just feeling around. It is big, but it is, you find edges. You dive down pretty deep, you find a floor, you feel around, you find walls, and it appears to be a self-contained pit of mud.
No cracks or anything.
Doesn't appear to be, no.
Damn. How's this guy living?
Are there any other living creatures?
Yeah.
It's just mud all the way down, man. If you wanted living creatures, you shouldn't have done what you did.
You
Are
did
there any
this.
bodies?
You did this.
I will say, no. I guess it depends on how you define a body. You find some bones. They don't appear to be humanoid, but you find a perfectly intact fish skeleton and a bug carapace.
Weird.
Cool.
This raises further questions.
Not to circle back around, but Zach, I rolled 12 damage, and then you said, no, it was a crit, remember? This mud is all over your hands.
Hey, listen, last episode 23, big combat on the seas, very exciting. 2 episodes ago, whatever, who cares? Big combat on the seas, very exciting. So many small errors, and it makes me feel bad, like I'm doing a bad job. Clay cast 2 spells in 1 turn. Jordan didn't crit on his smite. He didn't double his smite damage. So now I'm hyper aware that it reflects poorly on me as a man. When I don't say, actually, you get to do 4d6 damage. So I'm trying to be better.
That is
ladies.
true. Men only use 1 spell per turn.
Yes.
That's what real men do.
Yes. I mean, to be fair, it was an bonus action situation. It would have been allowed in Baldur's Gate, but this ain't Baldur's Gate, baby. This is pen and paper.
So true.
Okay, I guess we resurface with the knowledge that this is just a self-contained chamber. You say that the keyhole for this door is super big?
Yeah, big enough to stick a head in at least.
A head in?
Yeah. Be a shoulder if the shoulder was slender enough. I don't know.
Could I mold Earth a key? Or is that going to be, ridiculous?
You can certainly try.
Can I try that then?
Yeah. Why don't we call that a Arcana check?
Okay.
And it's gonna be decently difficult, but you are welcome to give it a shot.
Can we help in any way?
Tell me how you want to help, and maybe I'll convey an advantage.
Clay uses her artistic abilities to examine the keyhole and I guess help point out flaws or places that look good and to make the key shape look right.
Give me an investigation check.
I got a 13.
Clay. Metal is not your chosen medium for your artwork, but you've got some experience. And you take a look at this lock and you're pretty sure it is silver. Something known for its malleability and its conductivity of heat, specifically. And I will say, if you get the idea that if you applied some heat to this lock through the form of one of your spells, you might be able to make it a little more malleable, and it might assist the effort to mold Earth and force it open with a makeshift key.
Okay, what's the best spell to put some heat on this? I will cast is Sacred Flame actually hot? Or is it just radiant?
I think that's radiant damage.
Okay, I will use Burning Hands then.
Burning Hands! Give me some damage.
Okay. Oh my god, I did such poor damage. Okay. Oh, that's not too bad. 7.
7.
Mm-hmm.
And Elliot, you got a 15?
Mm-hmm.
It's close. You mold this key, and the metal starts to glow hot, and the key starts to slip in, and you can... It's awkward, because it's not just like a classic keyhole. It's this weird mouth shape, and you're not sure how much of the negative space is important for getting this open. It's close, but it doesn't quite open. And you think maybe a modification to the key or more heat might be enough to make the difference, but it's not quite there.
Could I force as much earth and clay into the negative space as possible. So whatever sort of any key-shaped hole is filled.
Sure.
I jam a load of dirt in that mouth then.
Yeah. If this mouth could talk, it would be going.
Clay slips the last egg out of her pocket and also puts it in the mouth.
Yeah, you smash it. You fill this hole with mud and egg, and sadly, like you think it's close. Like I stand. You think it's close. You think it needs to be hotter, though. I think with your academic learnings, you think it needs more heat.
I can cast Burning Hands again. Just recast it. I'll do that. 10?
Could I get another Arcana check from our magical locksmith?
Ooh, not good. That's 7.
You're gonna think I'm a liar. You needed an 8.
Ah.
It is so close. The clay in the mud is starting to crack and harden. The lock is glowing like red hot. Heat is emanating off of it in wisps, but it's just not going. And I think you, based off this, start to gather that this lock seems made for this. It seems like the heat conductivity is by design, and that perhaps the means by which it is typically opened is by administering an even greater amount of heat than you have been able to. And I think it gives you pause to question why there's a secret passage in Jar's personal chambers. Is he coming down here with like ye old fantasy blowtorch? It's odd. But Clay, are you doing anything else? Faunalyn, are you doing anything? Are you trying to tip it over? It's like you're like holding the mud and you're like trying to like force it into every crack, and you feel like it expanding, and you feel it going deeper and deeper into this mechanism. But I think you get the sense that like it's not so much like filling the hole, but that as the metal heats, things are contracting, which allows you to push in further, and it needs a little more juice.
Okay.
Well, I have scoured my own inventory and abilities, and there is nothing remotely fiery, but what I can do is lean in and go and blow on the flame, perhaps giving the help action. I probably have a fan on me. I could whip out my fan and start fanning the flame in there.
Faunalyn, if you take 1d6 fire damage from putting your mouth up next to a burning hot lock, then I will say it gives that one extra point needed.
I rolled a 6. The good rolls keep coming.
Oh, sorry, Faunalyn. I'm trying to get it as hot as I can.
I deserve this.
Faunalyn, your eyebrows were singed off the other day, if you recall. I'd say your wig starts to like smolder a little bit, but you breathe on it, and suddenly there's a massive clicking noise as the internal mechanism is cracked, and the door starts to swing open.
Yes.
Oh, we did it. Thank Macrog. My fire is hot enough.
Looks like I can do more than simply destroy. Yes. Yes. See, I can do good. I can do good things.
Yeah. Okay. I kick the door the rest of the way open.
Whoa.
Your foot bounces off of it. It is so thick. It's like a foot thick.
My toe.
Clay limps ahead with the two of you in tow.
She's like cursing under her breath.
Oh, no.
Stupid door. Stupid Jareth.
Oh, no. She's blaspheming now.
He must have a flamethrower or something. This is garbage.
The door opens up and you walk through, Clay muttering to themselves the whole time, and the ground begins to slope up ever so slightly. And sort of there's this mix of mud and clay and natural stone floor in the previous chambers, and it becomes more solid, less muddy, less clay-y, just natural stone. And after a few minutes going down this tunnel, this passage, you start to see light ahead, and it continues to get brighter the further you progress, and the walls of this tunnel open up in front of you, and you see yourselves in this large natural stone cavern. It is got a red coloration to it, very fitting with the desert, and it also gets warmer. You realize that it was cold, you were beneath the earth, the ground was cold. There's a warmth in the floor now, and you look around and you see that there's this massive skylight emanating just beautiful midday sun down into this space, filling it, and you see that there's these large flat rocks scattered around, a massive pool at the center of it all, appears to be a hot spring as well that is just steaming and bubbling, and the three of you covered in mud look at that and you're like, maybe. There are tapestries throughout, all depicting Zav in various round, spherical forms. Some of them appear to feature Jar Arth. One of them is him in a hot air balloon, and the balloon is shaped like the round projection of Zav, and he's sailing across some vast ocean with a telescope in hand. And yeah, you find yourselves in this cavern. You see that there's several tunnels that branch off in different directions, but it is light and it is warm.
Peter, does this place look familiar?
No, not this little sanctum. Where I stayed, it was a lot brighter, and I mean, they had lights really close into your face. It's, but I mean, here it's a little bit dull, and I mean, I recognize these artworks. I don't know if I've seen them in dreams before or if they've been shown to me in texts, but this is, of course, this is Jar traveling the world, and, you know, finding out about it. I'm not entirely sure he's been anywhere, but anyway, it looks like there's lots of ways to go, and maybe each one of these has a room similar to what I've been in before, so maybe your friend is in one of these?
Oh, yeah. I turn to the tunnels and start shouting Glimki's name. Glimki! You in here?
Your voice echoes off the stone walls.
Glimki! You in here?
But there's no response.
There's no other people, though. No one else responds.
Nope.
Okay. 3 tunnels, 3 people. I'm a little traumatized at the moment, but I can handle, you know, I won't kill anyone else if that's what you were thinking I was going to do. Don't worry. Unless they deserve it. Unless they try to kill us first. So we can split up. It's fine. You can trust me. I'm a good person. Or we can go together.
Up to you. Guys, I feel like the sooner we find Glimki, the better. But I don't know what's in these tunnels.
You want to split up?
I mean, yeah, meet back here if we don't find anything.
So you trust me not to kill anybody? You trust me. You know I'm a good person. You know I'm a good person.
I trust you to defend yourself if someone grabs you by the throat.
Yes, I was defending myself. Yes. It was justified action. It was an appropriate use of force. Yes. Yes. Yes.
And you too, Peter. You should defend yourself if someone grabs you by the throat. It's okay.
Okay, maybe next time I was a little bit caught unawares there. I didn't expect one of my old friends to jump out of the clay and start trying to strangle me and drag me into the depths. But yeah, I'll keep an eye out for past friends and acquaintances, maybe shaped like mud people.
Yeah, we don't know what's in here. Seems like your dad's hiding a lot of secrets.
Peter, you must understand. Yes, he's the bad guy here. I'm not. Peter, you must understand. Historically, when I've stabbed things before, it does significantly less damage. I didn't know I could kill somebody like that. I thought I was gonna, do a scratch. Last time we had a fight, I made a single wound, and then I shoved bottles of alcohol in it, and it did literally nothing. I'm not used to being effective.
It's okay. I mean, maybe in my brain he's a monster, and it was a replica of someone I used to know. That's what I'm hoping anyway.
You absolve me.
The boat's out. I wasn't really sure about you two in the first place. I'm still a little bit confused. But we'll say we're neutral people. Acquaintances, maybe.
Okay. Neutral. Yes, neutral people who are also really good people who would only kill someone with a really good reason. Yes. Okay, good. Yes, I agree. Okay. And I march confidently down the middle tunnel.
Okay. Leaving left and right available.
Oh, Clay, which one would you prefer?
I'll go this way, and I point to the left tunnel, I guess. Just pick one.
Okay. We'll start with Peter in that case then. And yeah, you walk through this space, past this hot spring and these warm rocks. There's emanating heat from them. Past the tapestries of your adoptive father. And you continue down. It is this more natural stone tunnel, but it's wide. Maybe 10, 12, maybe even 15 feet wide at points. tall as well. Like you feel small within this space. I don't know how much Peter knows about natural stone cave systems. This one, it seems big, but you travel down it for a while until it opens up once more into this larger space. You see more daylight streaming in from ahead, but not from above, from seemingly an entrance of sorts. You see out through this, there's something blocking your view, and you see sand beyond it, just sand dunes, these sweeping golden, yellow, and orange sand dunes. And then you decide to focus in on the thing that's blocking your view. And you see it is this massive stone carving of Jar Arath. Musculature like a Greek statue, like a Greek god, and he is holding Zav upon his back as a massive sphere.
What's the titty situation, though?
Huge cans.
Yes!
So beyond that is like an opening to the sand dunes.
Indeed.
And it's blocking like just the light, or it's blocking like physical access around?
No, you see there is a large space, like almost like 10 feet wide,
Okay.
underneath the legs, between the legs of Jar Arath.
Oh, right. I would just investigate or take a closer look at the statue before passing under its legs.
Yeah. He looks good. He looks strong, like he's been working out. It is that classical spherical Zav depiction that you have grown up your whole life looking at. The statue itself just appears to be carved from the same natural red stone as whatever this cave system is made from. But I will say, as you stop looking at this artistry, something moves in your periphery, and you peer out from Jar Arath's massive kneecap, and you see a creature moving through the desert. You were always told dangerous monsters lived in the deserts of Cabaris, and only Jar Arath was permitted to go out here because it wasn't safe for anybody else. And you look, and you see this massive feline shape moving towards you. It appears to have the body of a lion and an almost humanoid face and this large set of wings pressed up against its back. And it is just prowling slowly across the desert sands.
Has it seen me?
It does not appear to have seen you yet, but it is moving in your direction.
And the entrance or exit to the tunnel is wide enough to accommodate, I think, this creature.
Something bigger even.
Oh, I'm gonna slink back down the tunnel from where I came, if possible.
Give me a stealth roll.
Oh no. Oh no.
Shouldn't have split up. Sorry.
I'm gonna get killed by a manticore.
It's been great having you.
Yeah. It's a 5 in total.
Oh no. You are going to get killed by a manticore.
You start to step back, and in classic horror movie fashion, you trip, and you continue just dragging yourself backwards. And maybe in the back of your mind, you're like, it hasn't seen me. Why don't I just stand up and run away? But you keep crawling backwards, trying to create as much distance as you can. And the creature's face appears in front of the opening between your father's legs, and it locks its eyes upon you. And it charges. And it runs up in front of you and rears back up on these two legs and lets out this massive roar. What do you do?
I have no idea. Oh my god. Can I cast Adjust Density on it and make it really heavy?
Go for it.
Okay. I assume it needs to do something if it's a non-willing creature.
That's a cool spell.
It's cool, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to have...
That's what I was looking at.
Yeah, it doesn't look like... It looks like it just happens, huh?
That's handy.
I think so. Well,
Cool.
Either way, it doesn't happen. How do you like that for narrative storytelling? Actually, it doesn't happen. Sorry. But no, you reach out, trying to just bring down the creature's weight upon itself, slow it down. And it's like the spell, it's like you can't find a target. It's like there's nothing to target. And as you're sitting there, the creature continues to roar and like paw at the air, but it seems unwilling to actually attack you. It does not actually claw at you or bite you or do anything else.
I'm going to return to an old reliable and get a lump of clay out of my pocket and squeeze it in my hand and ball it up and throw it at the creature's face.
It passes right through.
Oh.
Dad, you've been lying to all of us about big creatures in the desert as well. When will your lies end? And I compose myself and stand up and I look at the creature and does it still attempt to attack me in its...
Essentially, yeah. It's like an animatronic that's just stuck on a loop, and it just keeps doing the same 4 motions, but nothing beyond that.
If I walk back down the tunnel, does it follow further?
I'd say after you get into the tunnel proper, it sort of just turns around and walks back out to the entrance.
Okay. I'm going to head back to the central room, seeing that was probably just an exit to outside and not really where I need to be going right now. And then I'd wait there.
You do so, and we will cut to Faunalyn. You go down the central tunnel, if you will, the forward-facing tunnel. You walk past this big steaming hot spring and enter this tunnel, and it starts to get sandy. You notice that your footsteps become a little more labored as the ground gets soft beneath your feet. And you notice that the tunnel is slowly filling with sand the further into it you go. Until after a few minutes, you see that the tunnel is completely barricaded, just filled with sand and the occasional large rock that seemed to just fully block off any further access without a shovel and a great deal of labor.
Not for me then. Okay. I turn around.
Faunalyn turns around.
Hang on. Now hang on. Let me investigate a little closer.
Nothing causes you to change your course of action faster than me saying you do the course of action you just said you did.
Than you agreeing with the course of action. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna look for a little bit of anything mysterious. We know that there's secret doors in this place, so yeah, kind of any indication that this might be actually a way that I can progress.
Sure.
That's a flat 5.
You attempt to start panning through the sand, looking for openings or things buried beneath it, and you get bored so quick. It's just so much sand, and I don't know. Maybe there's something in here, but that seems like servant work. Where are Clay and Glimki?
That's what I was thinking. Honestly. Okay, I turn around, but I'm going to investigate the dirt pond.
The
hot spring.
The hot spring.
Yes, the mud puddle, if you will.
Yeah, you are covered in mud that is rapidly drying upon we're going to call them what they are, cultist robes. And you walk over to this hot spring, and you peer down within it. It is hot, it is bubbling. Give me either a perception or investigation check.
That's another natural 20. So that's going to be a 24.
There is something glinting at the bottom of this pool. It looks metallic, and it looks relatively large. It looks larger than a coin. And the sunlight that is streaming in from above catches off of it and just sparkles down there.
Ooh. Okay, finally get to check out the hot springs. I once again remove my wig, and I'm going to dive right in.
It is hot, it is bubbling, but you swim down to the bottom, and you feel around amongst the disruption of the water, and your hand closes in on something, and it is surprisingly light for how big it is. It's maybe saucer-sized, maybe a little smaller than that, and you grab it, and you swim up, kicking up using the last of your breath. You get to the surface. You pull yourself up onto the rock, and you find you are holding what appears to be a dragon scale.
Oh, Clay! And I'm going to scoop up my wig and hurry myself down the hallway back towards Clay.
You start running after Clay, just as Peter comes back looking hard to read, maybe his expression. A mix of maybe fear and annoyance, sadness, maybe. Very complicated emotion. One we won't get into. That's what therapy's for. And the two of you go running after Clay. Clay, you have traveled down this passage. It is like the others. It's this large, natural stone, red stone, and you follow it. And it ends in a door.
Oh, another door.
With a small little circular glass window. And next to it, there is a trunk. A chest, if you will.
I press my face up against the window and look through it.
You look through, and you see a large circular chamber. Similar to that room you just left, there is natural light pushing through, illuminating the entire space. You think that if one were to spend too much time in here, they would run the risk of getting severely dehydrated and burnt and just suffer the ill effects of sun exposure. You see on one wall just this curved bookshelf covered with titles that you may have seen in Jar Areth's office. At the center of it all is a massive statue, maybe 12 feet tall, carved from marble, depicting Jar Areth holding the globe of Zav in his hand. And though no mouth is moving, you hear just muffled by the door, his voice, seemingly emanating from the statue, saying,
One was to travel under that. One would say that there are things to see under that, no doubt. But there is no under to be had, because for there to be a round planet is to denote the lack of roundness that must exist in such a world. If we were to look on the underside of a basketball, you would not say, this is the underside of a basketball. You would say this is just the underside of a basketball that one could play with and turn, and it is just basketball. And are we not having a ball here in the Reformation room?
And your eyes travel over, far away, on the opposite end of the room. You see a simple cot with no blanket, no pillows, and your friend Glimki Treefellow is crouched up on it, hands over his ears, trying his best to ignore the constant stream of proselytizing that is emanating from this statue.
Oh my god. Glimki. I quickly back up and scan the door for like locks or handles or like that.
It has a knob and lock, classic knob and lock combo.
Can I jiggle the door? Is it locked?
It is locked. The lock is living up to its name, for it is
God,
locked.
These locked doors. Bane of my existence. I kick the trunk open.
You find all of Glimki's belongings.
Okay. And how thick is this door?
Regular door.
I bang on it to see if Glimki looks up and can hear the noise.
I think over the noise of the statue,
Now, if I
he
were
can't
to
hear you. Which is partially a narrative conceit, and also partially so I don't have to deal with that.
You want to pilot Glimki for a bit?
Clay is going to, hearing the muffled sounds and seeing how Glimki is so affected and non-responsive, she's going to stuff some like fabric scraps or cotton in her ears and then try to break the door down.
Amazing. Just muscling through it?
Just, yeah, I guess. Then she'll take her mace off her back and try to smash the handle and see if that, just smash the lock, see if that comes off.
Give me a attack roll.
With my mace?
Yeah.
19.
Ooh. You land a solid blow. Give me some damage.
It's a 4.
Clay, you take this mace and you bring everything you can into this blow. And the wood splinters and cracks. It doesn't knock it off its hinges, but it weakens it, and you push the door open, and your earplugs, your makeshift earplugs help, but you can still just hear muffled.
There's mysteries that even I haven't quite unraveled.
Glimki!
But that isn't to say that I'm wrong. No.
Glimki!
Else is wrong, I dare say.
And you wade in and start shouting out to Glimki, just as Peter and Faunalyn come running down the passage behind you. You hear the full brunt of this loud voice just constantly narrating, and Glimki looks up and he sees you, and relief washes over his face. And he runs up to you, and before he can open his mouth, because I really don't want to have to do anything in post, the statue suddenly stops talking. There's blessed silence, but it is replaced by a similar, dare I say, the same voice. From the opening that you have just left, from the door that you have just knocked open.
Now, I knew that Mr. Treefellow was going to be a problem. And I wasn't entirely certain about the two of you. It's tricky with outsiders. Sometimes they come with good intentions. Sometimes they come trying to ruin things for others. But Peter, I must say, I am very, very disappointed, son. And you turn to see Jar Areth in his familiar purple sequined suit with just this very irritated expression upon his face.
You see Peter sort of freeze, stare at him, and start to sort of quiver a little bit. Dad, you see I'm doing your voice now. I spent too long in your time. I seen what you've been doing down here, and you've been taking people. And when I was in here, I thought it was for the best, to clarify the mind. But this is a prison. This is torturous, and you can't do this. I don't care if we're right and they're wrong. This doesn't make sense. You can't teach people this way. You have to let them believe, and forcing ideas into their brain. It's just not right. I try and stand my ground.
Which one of you killed Jordan?
It was I who slew Jordan. I slew him, and I will carry that guilt with me for the rest of my life.
Now you must understand, that's very irritating because he was a nice little bit of added security. Not necessarily by his choice, but for as long as he was looking for me, he was kind of hanging out in that mud pit, and I knew that I could slip past him unnoticed, and I wouldn't have to worry. So I guess maybe that's on me for employing a severely broken man as my watchdog. But thank you. We'll deal with that later. We'll add that to your bill.
Hang on, sorry. Was this like a I freed him from his eternal torment situation? Is that like what we're dealing with?
No.
No.
I mean, I'm not here to put words in his mouth. Lord knows you silenced him long ago. And by long ago, I'm guessing maybe 30 minutes to an hour ago, because I've never been great at autopsies, but it looked pretty fresh. I think we're losing the plot a little. And he turns to look at you, Clay. I wanted to follow up on earlier. That portrait you did, I was serious. It really made me start to reflect on myself and my identity and how I choose to present myself to the world. And he reaches up into his mouth and starts to like worry away at his teeth, just like kind of grabs his incisor and starts to just like wiggle it a bit. And I don't think the breasts are for me personally. I think not really what I'm looking for in a change. But he just grabs his tooth and he rips it out.
Oh.
And he kind of, you see that they're all just, it's like almost like a grill. It's just like this large set of fake teeth that he just pulls out, revealing sharper, just like rows of sharper teeth. He drops down onto all fours and says, "No, I'm thinking maybe I'm just gonna live my authentic self and the rest of you can just learn to live with it. How's that sound, Peter?" You watch as his skin, which is this unnatural spray tan brassy color, begins to look like it suits him in a way that it hadn't before. It begins to solidify and it begins to segment. As he grows and swells, you see a tail burst out from his purple sequin suit. And you watch the shadows, because, we love a narrative device, cinema. You see the shadows in this room elongate and stretch as his neck stretches out and these two massive wings sprout from his back, spreading out. You see he is covered in brass scales as this large dragon stands before you.
What?
And that's where we'll stop tonight's episode of Bard Soup.
Oh my god.
Wow.
What the heck?
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Bard Soup. I have been your religious little dungeon master, Zach Meikle, joined by Prima Zhao as Clay Campbell, Shannon Meikle as Faunalyn Vaydark, and Elliot from Inkblade Publishing as Peter Goodacre. You can check the episode description for more information on Elliot's upcoming Kickstarter campaign for Gothica Plague Worlds, and look forward to seeing him next episode. In the meantime, how about you leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify? Follow us at bard_soup on Instagram or TikTok, and check out www.bardsoup.com for some amazing artwork. Like I said, we'll be back in 2 weeks, so until then, stay toasty and bye-bye.
I really milked that sentence. My brain started thinking about other things, and you can tell.
You're thinking about One Piece.
Da, 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 da. It's so good, man. And Usopp's probably an artificer or possibly a ranger, probably more of a ranger. And I think that Robin is probably a spellcaster for sure. I don't know if she's a warlock or a sorcerer. Frankie's an artificer
have legs
for sure.
The walk you're taking it on, buddy.
I've given this a long
running
thought.
so far with this bit.